Today, I'm going to show you how to engrave this really cool design on this 32-ounce water bottle. And as long as you have a laser, you can do this project. So let's jump into Adobe Illustrator and I'll show you how I made it.
Alright, here we are in Adobe Illustrator, and this is where I made my design, and I'm going to show you how to do this knockout text effect. I really knew my mom would like this kind of thing, so it has me and my sister's name and then our animals, because her grandkids are definitely our pets. So let's start with the word mom. And then the font that I chose for that was Wensley Bold. So let's just make that nice and big here. And then it doesn't really matter what size we make it at the moment because we can always scale it up. But just so that we can see it a little bit better, we'll do that. Alright, so I know that's the font I'm using right off the bat. I'm going to do create outlines. The kerning here sucks a little bit, so I am going to ungroup this. I'm going to move that in ever so slightly. I'm going to select it all, and as you can see, they are two separate shapes. So I'm going to come to my Pathfinder tool and hit Unite, or you could also use the Shape Builder tool that's over here. Alright, so now that is good to go, and so now let's work on the text of all the names. Now, for this next font that we are going to use, it is for personal use only, so make sure you abide by that. So let me type in my sister's name, my name, the dog, the other dog, and then Elsa the intern. We're going to use Hello Honey. Alright, but as you can see there are some other options, and we actually don't need the spaces here between each letter because we are going to add the hearts version of this font. So what I'm going to do is I am going to hover over here, and I know I want it to be like that, where I want it has a swirl on that side, and I'm going to do the opposite to over here. I want the swirl on the end. As you can see, that matches. Next, I'm going to take this H, turn it into the heart, and now we can see we have that other heart. I'm going to do the same with the Y. I'm going to do the same with the R and with the other Y. So that works because I have done this before. So what we can also do is we can select this letter, come up to type, glyphs, and we can just come over here, and it has all these things that we're looking for. So, or you can also change it if you really want to, specifically do something. But so that is another way to get it, or you can also come up here and do the drop down, however you like to do it. So now what we're going to do, we are going to create these as outlines as well. So you can right click it, or you can go up to type and click create outlines down here. We will unite that. Let me zoom in a little bit. So this next step, what we are going to do, we're going to come up to object, path, offset path. That's why we have to outline our text so that this will work. And I'm in inches right now, but I'm going to do 3 points. And to me, that looks pretty good. I'm not sure if that's exactly the same as what we used before. And if this is not showing up, make sure this little preview box is checked. So I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to copy that and then delete it. Now I'm going to paste it in place and click Unite. I just do this, that way I don't lose any of the pieces. And I'm going to come in here with my direct selection tool, which is this one, or you can hit the shortcut A. I'm going to click on these inner pieces and just delete them. So I'm literally clicking on one of those points and hitting delete. That's because we don't need them. So this might take you a few moments, and then that looks good to me. Now I will change the color just so that you can see the difference here. So this is blue. I'm going to right click it, go to arrange and send to back, and now you can kind of see that effect we're going for. For the moment, let's group these. You can do Command G, or you can go to object and hit group. I'm going to select both of these, go to my align panel, and align these up in the center. I'm going to just shrink this down ever so slightly to kind of match, to match the first version that we did. Alright, and then let's realign this. Let's ungroup the inner text here, and I'm going to click on only the blue layer. I'm going to make a copy of it, so Command C, or you go to edit and hit copy. And then I'm going to ungroup my back letters, so right click ungroup. And what I need to do is select the blue letter and this M. I'm going to come back over to Pathfinder, and I'm going to click minus front. And now you can see that we have that desired effect. So this is the way that I do it, and then I just keep going up to object, paste in place, and then just keep doing this until I have my desired effect here. There might be an easier way. This is just the quickest way I do it. You can also use the shape builder tool as well. This just makes my life easier. And then there you have it. There is our design, but I'm gonna delete this one since I've already made it. Now let's save this, and then we're gonna open up Lightburn. All right, now in Lightburn here, this is what I use to send designs to my laser. So I'm gonna come up here to import. I'm gonna click my mom file, and then I know this is good. And I set my origin to the middle on the right side here, just because of how my laser is set up. And then, so once we are happy with this, we will come over to our settings. I have to be very aggressive with my settings. I have to do 200 speed, 95 power. I don't know if this is because my laser is plugged into a extension cord or what, but that's what works for me. So definitely before you do this, make sure you're doing your own testing. And then once that's good, then we can send it to our laser, and then we're good to go. And then we can engrave our cup.
All right, so we have our tumbler here in the laser, and I have my little 3D printed adapter. I have to do this because I don't have a chuck rotary, but for now I have to use these adapters. So let's make sure our cup is in focus. So we'll hit autofocus here. All right, now that's in focus. And so now we can frame out our design to make sure it's exactly where we want it to be. All right, so that's a little high for me. So let's bring it down. But one thing is, it'll also help if I plug in the rotary, and I think that's gonna be perfect. All right, so now we can set our origin, and then now we can start the laser. All right, this turned out looking great. So now let's go clean this up in the sink and then give it to my mom. This is actually a Christmas present I'm making for her, and I know she's gonna love it. All right, let's spray our cleaner on it. And that looks pretty great. Overall, this water bottle turned out great, and my mom absolutely loved it. These things engrave like butter, so I highly recommend you go and you pick some up.